if you want senior management to care about lean, well then make sure that lean affects the things that the senior managers care about. Hello, I'm Tom. Welcome to my channel, where we're talking about continuous improvement, operational excellence, and today's video, it is sort of triggered by a post by Bob Emiliani, who almost daily posts on LinkedIn about the second side of lean leadership, lean management, in that most management doesn't really care about lean and that you really have to address that as well. And I wholeheartedly agree. And one of the things that is super important and that I see way too little of in lean communication is make it important for managers if you want to involve management. So what I often see is a checklist with what are the prerequisites for a good lean program. Well, we need to have training budget, we need to have management involvement, we need to have managers on the guiding coalition, and a whole bunch of, yes, it's true, it's definitely true, but then you put the onus on the management team. So that's usually how it then goes. The consultants or the global performance excellence manager, they go to the management team and say, you have to lead this. This is important for the future of the company. You go and lead it because we're going to become lean and you have to drive the lean culture. Yeah, well, maybe true, but I did a bit of a different search. I did a search on how do you judge a executive committee? How do shareholders judge basically directors of a company? How to evaluate a company to begin with? And all of those types of searches, they point to a pretty similar list. They say, well, when you check a company result, director result, when you do a shareholder type of analysis, then you look at the market that the company is in and the team is in, and you look at what your competitors are doing, and you take that, well, you first look at who are competitors, and you take that into account when, and here it comes, we're going to be looking at a whole bunch of financial metrics. We're going to be looking at the profitability and the growth of the company and of the performance. And we're going to be looking for not having too many crises and scandals. Maybe also how they dealt with it, but preferably how they prevented them. Hey, there's no lean in these lists. So how well a company does autonomous maintenance, I have not seen it in a single criterion to judge executive managers. Or maybe something about how well their Kanban system is organized. No, you don't find it, right? Not even how many training hours they spend per employee. People development, they don't care about it. They care about it as a means to these ends. So financial metrics, we're talking about things like revenue. So that is volume and the sales price. More of a commercial side thing than an operational side thing, but still. How much can you put into the market for how much money? But then, of course, immediately also the expenses that are incurred putting those things into the market, producing the product. And cash flow, right? Cash flow is also how quickly can we put things into the market. So these already, it's like, oh yeah, so we're talking about output or throughput. We're talking about efficiency of material and labor. We're talking about speed. So the throughput speed, how quickly can we go from order to delivery? How quickly can we get stuff through our supply chain? And also between buying the raw materials even more than the order, because that's where we get most of the cost, to getting the money from our consumers. Like the customers, if we can serve them quicker, oh, that sounds a lot like lean thinking, right? So link these. ROI, ROC, so return on investment or return on capital. It's basically the same, but here you see that inventory levels are super important because, of course, you have big assets, we'll get to those, but if you have a lot of inventory, a lot of money is sunk into that. So your capital is high. So with the same sales numbers, if you have a lot of inventory, your return on capital will be lower than when you can do the same sales with a much lower capital expenditure on inventory. Now, inventory is only one part of your capital, but still, that is lean thinking. The other part is indeed the machines and the buildings and stuff like that. That is also often a very big part of capital. So if we can use a machine to its maximum, if we get OEEs of 80%, then we're doing a lot more return from that one piece of capital. If that machine is running at 30% OEE, then the return on that capital or on that investment is much lower. These are interesting things, right? Now we are linking operational excellence to what the business bobos are thinking about. And then quality and safety, they really are, at least at the executive mindset, mostly about not having crises and scandals. That is what most of our quality and safety thinking is about. Well, quality thinking might be about expenses as well, maybe about getting more people, but generally, you sort of have your commercial side to think about how do we advertise our products in a good way, as long as we don't have quality issues, right? They will ask what we can do to add nice features or whatever, but when you get major quality incidents, that is going to be all over the newspapers. That is something that an executive team really hates. So when we talk about our operational excellence program, our lean program, and we want to involve senior management, then please also talk in terms that are important to senior managers. And this is not a strange list, right? This is not a cynical view on executive leadership. This is what they are there to do, right? The senior management team, they run the business on their level, and their level is about financial metrics, profitability. That is their purpose. So that is not the cynics of a financial market. No, that is the level at which, especially at larger companies, they have to operate. Then you have your sort of operational and middle management. They need to think about the operational effectiveness of what you're doing, right? Your supply chain, your operations. When you go to shop floor management, those management layers, the main thing they have to think about is getting product out of the door today and making sure that everybody is doing what they should be doing. So they are in sort of people control and making sure that the lines are pushing stuff out daily, and it's not even efficiency, but daily output. Those again are different ways of viewing. In the end, it all builds to the same big company. But that's why if you want to make sure that your senior management is involved in lean and values your lean program, speak definitely in what they get from it. Explain that, and it doesn't even need to be tomorrow, right? But explain that what you're doing is going to drive down expenses, is going to increase throughput and thereby increase return on capital, that you're going to do things to your inventory so that that is reduced as well. Free up capacity in your plants, in your operations, so they don't have to invest but can still increase revenue. Those are the things that are on their minds, on their daily metrics. That's what they are sort of held accountable to. And that, I think, I mean, it's still not a guarantee that they will like lean, because again, lean is nowhere in here. Kanban is nowhere in here. But at least you have a good fighting chance. Now also, should they care? Well, that's not even so straightforward. See, again, the operational management layer, they really need to care. The executive management, the senior management, just has to support. Of course, it would be nice if they are also lean advocates, but the main thing you need from them is the support, and that you will get if you give them these are the results we're going to be building towards, and then can also show a couple of quick wins and then sustained wins. So the 8 steps of Coder, I have a nice video on that one as well. That really works with these types of managers, right? The senior team, the operational team, the the length of programs that affect whole companies, follow the 8 steps of Goddard with a guiding coalition. But here, you don't need the CEO of a company to per se be on board until it becomes to the level where you're going to change the whole supply chain and you set managers in certain positions. Then it starts to really, really matter for starting up a good lean journey, even over a factory, the whole division. Make sure operational leadership is really on board. They will have inventory levels, throughputs, OEEs on their KPIs. But senior management, so the executive team, think in these type of terms. So also make sure that your program describes and reports in these type of terms as well, and is actively working on increasing or improving these metrics so that one of your big stakeholders, the shareholders, will also be happy with what you do. That is a key part of getting that management support in. So I hope that that triggered some things about how you need to think about your continuous improvement programs. And just as a sort of a last thought, this is even true, in your smaller departments. So if you are production manager, continuous improvement specialist, continuous improvement manager, and your factory director or division director isn't fully on board with all of your great lean ideas yet, think about what are their KPIs. And these are much more likely to be in their KPIs than your lean program. So your lean program will be super useful to your business, but if you want to convince them, don't tell them about the brilliant new lean thing you've been reading or watching videos about. Tell them what you're focusing on and how you are going to support in achieving their goals. I hope that that helps you in the mindset of how to communicate with your managers and the executive managers in your company. If it did, don't forget to hit that like button. And also, if this draws out reactions, please do put them in the comments. I know this is a touchy subject. Hopefully you have some good advice you want to share with other viewers, but also maybe you have a question or an argument. You don't agree with parts of what I said. Put it down in the comments. I love hearing from you, discussing this with you, because this is such a critical part of getting lean to a higher level throughout industry. So also thanks to Bob Emiliani for raising this topic time and time again. For now, I wish you the best of luck transforming your lean culture. And as always, don't forget to also enjoy the continuous improvement journey.